qualifying match for the HomeStory Cup, the first offline one that'll be happening in over 2 years. How very exciting. In the bottom right side of our qualifying match from the winners bracket, we've got the red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem, and boy, what an attempt he had to go through to just win his previous match against WardiTV. He put him up against the wall and really made him work for it. Might be worn out a little bit, might work in this man's favor in the top left. Former teammate of Clem, but now on the Shopify Rebellion. This is Harstem, and boy, has he been on fire lately. Beat Showtime to get here, but that was done before we even went into Clem versus WardiTV. So we have been, had Harstem waiting for an hour, staying warmed up, and, getting ready to play maybe. Not able to, not having to kind of be stressed out, trying to keep his winner bracket run alive. So maybe that works in Harstem's favor. We'll see how he does here in this best of 5. I think it's worth noting immediately that he did lose the other day when he played against Clem in the DreamHack event. It was a 3-0. It wasn't quite what Harstem wanted to kind of, have. He'd had a great run up until then. Let's see if he can make a difference today. Let's see if he can build on that previous matchup against Clem and make things happen this time around. Best of 5. Like I say, the winner qualifies for HomeStory Cup. There is a lower bracket still, so if you don't win here, you have the lower bracket qualifying matches still to play in for either of these players, whoever loses out. And there's 2 more qualifiers after this as well, so pretty good chance these guys are all eventually going to make it in. But that wouldn't give us the fun of these qualifiers, and we do love the good qualifier, don't we? Feels like it's been a while. I mean, it has been a while since we've had like a qualifier like this into an offline event and stuff, and they're always a lot of fun. They're always really great, and always gotta love watching them. They are just extremely entertaining. So far, it's been a blast. Obviously, the only downside of this qualifier is no Rain or no Serral, right? Those guys are already invited, and I mean, maybe you could argue it makes qualifier 1 a bit boring, but you would have been forced to see at least like a Clem versus a Rain or a Serral or something. It would have been kind of fun. Our first Adept coming across the map right now is going to run in here. Adept is going to shade. The Reaper Grenade doesn't connect. I don't think he's going to be able to do much of that. Bunker is going to be finished up at the front without issue. And this Adept now is just trying to get out of here. Twilight Council builds from Harstem as we do get that started. Just going to be seeing this Adept moving through to get things going. Coming online, reactor coming up. I'm just going to see this Adept is going to be here. As the Hellion, couple Marines just going to get active, pick away at this. And Twilight Council is going to be the opening here from Harstem, so that's going to be his starting point as this Reaper does sit in. Rick comes through. I'm just going to pick away at the probes. I'm just going to be seeing the Adepts coming along. And just going to be getting some damage done. I'm going to have the Hellion as well, looking for a probe here. I'm going to get a single one there. I'm just going to get 2 in total, so not bad at all. 4 kills on the Reaper as well. Reaper coming around. Adept just and a couple Stalkers just going to come in. And just going to be kicking off that Reaper, so that will be the end of that early game harassment. Now we can kind of just go from here. Couple Stalkers continue to run back. Blink continue to come on through. Continue to get this set up. And, yeah, along we go. Next little step, we'll obviously be going into that charge, so going to begin to move into that. And that charge is going to be on the way. The +1 armor upgrade as well as we get this rolling. Gonna get some pressure on then. And it's Rumplehunk. Thank you so much for the fresh new Prime sub. Really appreciate it. welcome, and thank you so very much. We do have a few stalkers coming through, grabbing a marine. And away we go. Raven just going to move up to the top side. And drop an auto turret in. That's just going to be a little bit annoying here for a few moments as well. Auto turret's doing decently. I mean, not a bad start at all. And it's just going to be seeing our stalkers and the adept continue to come on through. And just sitting at the front. Seeing if there's an opportunity. Obviously, mostly just keeping map control, keeping an eye out for things here as best as possible for the moment. Black Rack still just coming through. Continue to set up onto this, and just going to see our Bioforce going to start making a little bit of a move forward. Just going to see these couple stalkers going to get shoved away. That's Clem's first push here, and a lot of the army supply in his favor right now. About to have that +1 upgrade as well to help out with that, so looking good there. Finally, Bioforce coming along, just going to push those stalkers away further. Just going to be seeing that Prism warping into the main base. Good counterattack from Harstem, definitely going to keep you pretty active here, going to keep you pretty busy. That's Clem. Oh, nice pullback, letting the Widow Mines really only connect on the Zealots. Amazing Widow Mine shots, really set him up great for that. So does a great job of it, and just going to be seeing the Pylon taking some shots. Bioforce still coming through. And Prism gets dealt with as well, man. Clem really dealt with this beautifully, right? Just really handled this extremely well. Just going to see our Zealot, Stalker, Immortal will continue to come on through, just continue to run on by, and let's see what we can do. We drop an Interference Matrix on the Stalker. I think that was maybe meant to be on the Immortal. Doesn't really matter. The Immortal dies pretty soon after anyway, so just continue to see a couple of Zealots going down, extra Zealots warping in. And our Bioforce continue to trade pretty nicely here for the moment, as the Zealot Stalker continues to push the Bio Army out of here. Both Zealots continue to fall at the moment. It's going to be seeing our Rubber Bay coming up. And just going to be seeing, obviously, that production continuing right now. So Harstem at least trying to tech up here, but it feels like Clem's momentum is definitely going to carry through, at least to some extent. It's going to be tough for Harstem to really stay alive in this. We'll see if he can manage it. As Observer pulling a bit of vision out to the bottom side. Fire's going to stim in. Immortal's just going to get picked off straight away. Widow Mine shots going in already. Those Widow Mines just going to get picked. And I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Marauders coming through after the Zealots. So continue to chip through this. Bioforce continue to go in after it. Probes continue to go down across the map though. An attack at the front. Widow Mines in the mineral lines. And it's just going to be very tough to stop this from truly going in favor of Clem, isn't it? The momentum he has is definitely huge. I mean, Harstem doing a good job of trying to put some damage across the map, but everything that happens across the map is being kind of matched by Clem's pressure over here. Bioforce sticking around in the center. I'm just going to come around the left, see what it can do next. I guess in a way, with a lot of the Zealots out and Colossi coming through, might be a good time to actually slow it down a bit in terms of what's happening. Bioforce coming through, Raven's going to come along. Just going to be starting up and dropping the Matrix. That is going to allow him to disable this first Colossus. Clem getting a chance to really just clean up on the other side of the map and fully focus on building this army to get fully in swing over here. Definitely works out wonderfully, and that is going to be Clem picking up game 1 of this best of 5. Nicely done. Everything set up, and in the top right-hand side, our red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Bottom left, our blue Protoss player from the Shopify Rebellion, Harstem. Alright then. Game number 2 here, and we'll see who can come out on top. I do really expect Harstem to come out kind of swinging. Like I said, to me, this is the sort of map he loves to play on. Lots of chance to counterattack, more time to counterattack while Clem gets set up. Harstem, somebody that can absolutely love that situation. He's so good with the Zealot counterattacks, and on top of the Zealot counterattacks and being good with those, he's great at just kind of mid to later game PvT for sure. So Scott goes down. STV just continuing out bottom left. It's going to be seeing the engineering bay going down to create a little bit of a blockage on the expansion. So that's obviously a great start as well. Gets that going. Let's see if we can be very annoying. The good news is the probe came down straight away and spotted this. You can pull the other probes fairly quickly to help deal with it. And they're going to get a little surround, obviously one in each location, so you can quickly get onto the SCV should it try and make a return. That's the whole point of spreading these probes around like this, and they're going to do a pretty good job of this right now. Maybe we'll drop a pylon down. SCV is really trying to get the most out of this, actually. Is absolutely sticking around as long as possible. And SCV does end up not quite dead, but in a bit of trouble there, and actually does run himself into too much trouble, and does end up dying. Nexus will build. Finally gets that underway. Clem, factory before you expand, so we'll be a little bit more aggressive on the back end of this as well. We'll see just what he can do with this here. As we do have the reactor coming up, factory going to be finishing. And just going to be having ourselves the next few moments of this to hang out and wait to see what's next. Factory's going to drop onto the reactor, it seems. I'm just going to be seeing our starport coming in on the other side of the map. Stargate coming down from Harstem as well. The Nexus is coming through. Adapt probe. All that on the way for the moment. Actually, this is a great catch from Harstem. Finding the proxy starport. Oh, and that's not going to get a chance to finish at all. So that starport's just completely just taken out of the game already. So that's a pretty huge deal. And it's going to be seeing a couple of Hellions coming down here. Reactor on that factory still working. I mean, are we really going to send the SCV to finish it? Wow, I'm genuinely surprised. I guess we'd rather do that than cancel it and build it up back at home. And it's going to be a very late Hellion drop, if a Hellion drop at all. At this point, I think you're just finishing it for the sake of being able to say, hey, I've got a starport I can bring home, right? Still, may as well have probably just built it at home, though, right? I mean, it's hard to justify that one. It's a huge delay, but great start from Harstem, shutting down this proxy before it even really gets going. Absolutely massive. Starport lifts actually is just going to fly home, so you'd rather just finish it off, fly it home. Is that effective, do you think? Do you think he saves more any time with this? I wonder if it isn't saves time, as these Hellions hang on are in here. 4 probes going down, 5. Okay, not terrible. Still 5 probes better than Clem maybe should have got. The Oracle's going to show up, and there's no Cyclone yet, so maybe this Oracle can have a good time. 1, 2 SCVs. 2. Third one's very low, but now the Cyclone lock-on going to force you into the corner, but you can't get away from the Cyclone there. And that's a dead Oracle. Obviously, the Oracle is great until the Cyclone lock-on. I think he got a bit greedy. I think he was thinking about, hey, can I get that SCV that's low and make it 3? But that little bit of greed, trying to get that little bit extra, was just a bit too much, right? So, yeah, a little bit worse than it should have been, perhaps, from Harstem, but that's okay. These things do happen. Phoenix producing now, and that's going to be his next step of this. How many? He does have 3 already, so you will have a good Phoenix count to work with here as well. Definitely worth noting. A few adepts moving through the middle of the map, so away they go. And a couple barracks just relocating around slightly to get set back up. Cyclones do get some lock-ons. Phoenix taking some damage. Just going to be seeing our adepts making their way forward and going to go for an SCV already, so gets rid of 1. These few Marines, well, 1 goes down, 2 go down. 2 Marines get killed already, wow. Pretty neat, as we do have the Phoenix on the right-hand side. Would love to just keep control away from Clem as well. Stop a lot of the drop play, stop a lot of the harassment he would like to get out on the map here. Cyclones come through again, and those Adepts once more going to be taking some shots. Going to be seeing the turnaround, and the Phoenix continue to get chased away. So the Phoenix getting pushed on out of there. And Cyclones and Marines continue down to the bottom left side of the map. We got extra Marines coming through, Stim and Combat Shields building as well. I mean, this is where Clem feels like he's in his element, right? He's arriving, he's got a couple Cyclones, he's up against mostly a Stargate force, and he's got everything that kills Stargate units. Clem frequently does attacks like this, and he oftentimes finds mega damage with it. Let's see what he gets this time around. You can see the few gateway units here making a bid to move forward, but they are out of range of a battery. There's not that many Marines. I really thought there was going to be more. We target down one Phoenix. I don't think we'll get more than that, though. And these Marines will run to at least have further Marine support should the Phoenix commit in. We try to get another one of those Phoenix kills, but it doesn't happen. Harstem is doing a fantastic job at cleaning this up, and Harstem is absolutely going to hold here, no issue. Not quite sure what these couple pros are trying to do, but obviously we're not necessary. Marines do have Stim now, and coming forward will at least catch one of the Zealots left on the high ground here to watch for future attacks and armies of Clem making their way across, so they do serve their purpose. Marines coming along, Stalkers there to greet them, and it's honestly just not that many Marines because of the ones that previously died, so that actually does hurt a little bit. It's going to be seeing our Phoenix coming through, looking to aim for those medevacs right here. Marines in the center just going to try and hold their own. The Widowmine shot, not really too crazy though, so that doesn't go too well. And now the rest of these Marines getting lifted, and Phoenix doing everything that they can to make the most of this. Harstem continuing to defend brilliantly, and he's up 17 workers. His army is looking great as well. I love it for Harstem. He's already got charge. I think Clem's in some serious trouble. 3rd CC is still just halfway done on location, so it takes a while until that's truly set up as well. Wow, wow, wow. Harstem playing a great game right now, putting himself into a hot position. Let's see if he can keep this up, as you do see the Phoenix going to play Runaway. Just trying to get in there for just a little bit of additional damage, trying to do a little bit more out of all this. Robo facility coming up, a couple extra barracks coming through. All of that's still underway right now. Some extra gates, Robo and everything setting up in the bottom corner there. A couple more weapons come through, and just going to be seeing our islands setting up for 4th base. So Harstem already thinking about the future and taking more bases here, getting further set in this game. Phoenix will lift up a Marine right away, and the rest of the Marines and Widowmines are going to pull off over to the side. Robo Bay and a second facility all on the way up. The Marines get that to push that Phoenix back around as well. Just going to be seeing Harstem again continue to progress nicely. Still in a comfortable spot. I mean, you always get worried because Clem is great later in the game as well. Widowmine will connect here for not quite a Phoenix kill. In fact, there was 2 Widowmines. I didn't see the second one. I saw the first. But yeah, it's going to bring the Phoenix low. Doesn't kill any, but just makes them that little bit more vulnerable now, which you got to be careful about, right? As he pushes forwards, Harstem will not yet be on that Robo Bay production, so without the Robo Bay, maybe that is Clem's opportunity, maybe that's his chance to really make something of this now. We got a pylon down the bottom side, if nothing else, and again, continue through. And so it's the Stalkers pulling back a little bit, good couple force fields going down, Marines will just lift up and back away over the other side, and we've got a whole chunk more Phoenix in the center, where for a moment looking as though they might make their way down over there as well. These Widow Mines is something Harstem does not want to run into. I think the mines are the one thing Harstem can't deal with effectively right now. So he just wants to try and just make sure they don't get those crazy shots off that we've seen Clem's Widow Mines already get once. I mean, his control with the army when the Widow Mines were connecting in the previous game was fantastic, so I hope hopefully doesn't want to let something like that happen again. Doesn't let Clem bait him into it. And once these Colossi come out, there's really not a good answer to Colossi on the map at all. I know they don't have extended thermal lance yet, but yeah, there's just not really a way to kill them. So Clem has a bit of time before the thermal lance comes online, but Yeah, once that's online and up and running, there's going to be 3-4 Colossi, and I don't know what Clem really does about it. Yeah, the Colossus, you can just see how dangerously close it has to get to fire right now. It doesn't feel safe at all. Otherwise, this would be a, you would just kind of scoop up the opportunity and run with it to try and take this force down already. We are going to be seeing the 2 Colossi here now. Force fields are great as well, really keeping Clem at bay. Not allowing him to press forward at all, not allowing him to make anything of this. He's doing a very good job again. Job very well done by Harstem. Good defense once more. And Clem is not really able to find any advantage on the back end of this one. So yeah, there's Widow Mine down, and the probes do pull away. Battery finishing up. Bio all the way down the bottom, and just going to see a Widow Mine in the back of the mineral line gets picked off there. We're actually going to stim in. Robot facility goes down. Zealots start to charge forward, and do you have another Widow Mine shot goes off just on a Stalker. Those couple of Widow Mines are going to be left behind and should be manageable. Looks like the Observer's about to pop. Harstem's supply is dropping a little bit. I think that's just natural as he's getting a lot more tech units out, and Clem's obviously still playing into just a lot of, I guess not low tech. He is building a lot of Vikings all at once now, so Clem's position is improving in the game. I guess we can't really deny that. Moving through the center, we've got the Observer, gets scanned in an instant, goes down immediately. All these Archons finishing up, Blink about to complete, plus 2 armor on the way in as well. All of our Ghosts are being produced right now, and that's going to bring Clem up to, like I say, the full throttle tech army that you want against this. Vikings and Ghosts. You could argue Liberators as well, that I guess is the one next step you could still be making. This Marine run by going to come straight through. That's a cannon and this mineral line in trouble. Harstem knows that there's another attack coming though, so he doesn't send everything back. Quite responsible. He does have Blink now, so dealing with these medevacs becomes a lot easier. What? 1 HP? Oh wow, 1 HP gets away. Oh wow, that was obviously still nice to get one of the full medevacs. The other one though would have just been juicy on top. And they didn't really do enough damage to justify losing all the units, right? So if you'd been able to kill the other one, what a trade it would have turned out to be. Still nice. Like I say, the 1 full medevac was still a great start. I don't think we're too upset about that at all. Well, the unit's going to come in from a couple different sides. Some from the top, some from the bottom. And as we wrap around here, oh my goodness, the Archons just shred the Vikings. My goodness, Clem just lost all of his anti-air. The Colossi are going to reign supreme in this next fight, and Harstem knows it. That's why he's pushing. If Clem doesn't have a drop setup or something set up to counterattack right now, this attack of Harstem is so deadly. It's scary. I mean, actually, I think you run up maybe into... Is it greedy to run up the ramp into that base? Maybe. Potentially could get surrounded by the drop that was coming back around that side, but it would avoid fighting a planetary fortress. I think Harstem didn't have enough information to truly make the call to run up this ramp. He's obviously going to position himself so that he can kind of fight this planetary / deal with this army if it comes down. We blink forward straight away. You want to get rid of the Vikings. We want to make sure these Colossi are staying alive throughout this. Big EMPs, though. And only 2 Colossi left, so not as much splash on that Bioforce as you'd be liking to have initially. Where's the nearest Prism at? We don't have one at all. Would love to just see a Prism, even for reinforcements in these sort of fights, right? Sensor Tower's given a lot of info, and Harstem can't quite find the chance to get rid of that either. Because Disruptor makes its appearance, but... and these Vikings are continuing to come through. Considering we just lost so many Vikings, it's impressive how many Clem has back up again. Yeah, it's 10. Yeah, it actually has a bunch. I guess he already had a couple out, and then 2 rounds of production of 2 starports. Like I say, next step might just be Liberators, especially with Disruptors coming into play, because this game comes much more down to now positioning and zoning, and that's what the Liberators provide, versus obviously the anti-air that the Vikings provide. So yeah, would not be surprised to see that be the next step. Fusion Core as well, obviously get that Liberator range. Harstem is going to swing some Zealots around the side, and that is maybe one thing that has been missing here, just that potential of counter-attacking damage. Again, I talked about earlier, Harstem's great at setting up these run-bys, he's great at being consistent with them. No, Warp Prism makes it kind of limited what you can do. And as you're going to see, I think this is going to be, again, the Vikings in trouble again. They do get the last Colossus, though. Now, Harstem has a choice. Does he want to go back into Colossi, or is he just going to build Disruptors? I think for now, Disruptors, they obviously don't have any kind of way to deal with the... Oh, there's still a bunch of Vikings up, so as long as there's Vikings up, no point making the Colossi, right? But once you clean them out, there is a transition back to those Colossi available. Somehow, both these sets of Zealots feel like they should have done so much more than 12 SCVs of damage. I mean, there's ones on the right side actually found a lot of the damage in the end, but that was actually a lot of Zealots to be given up to only get 12 workers. We'll finally get rid of this Sense Tower, and if nothing else, it just puts Clem a little bit in the dark as to where Harstem is moving. Clem just EMP'd his own goats there. I can only assume that was something of a misclick, something of a queued up command that went off a little bit too late. That was obviously not meant to happen. No real kind of benefit from, you know, EMPing your own ghosts here at all. Nothing to be gained in the slightest. Clem's force down the bottom side, and we're just going to be seeing the few Zealots slipping into this mineral line. There are a good amount of Vikings here to greet those Zealots straight away. The Disruptor shot will land and not do too much just yet. 10 probes going down as they were just long distance in this location, and as they backed away, getting killed off, this Terran army continues through. Harstem just not able. I mean, Disruptors are great defensive and they'll hold this army back, but Clem really has to make a mistake for those Disruptors to actually connect big time. Of course, you know, while the Disruptors don't connect big time, the fact they're zoning the Terran army so heavily is still a pretty big deal. You can see here multiple shots going off. And just keep, I mean, Clem's basically never getting to really fire, and Harstem just keeps this going. Is setting up more run-bys. This time with DTs is going to be a lot better, and maybe a lot more deadly for him this time around. This is Clem actually needing to stim there. Took a little while to do it. Okay, Harstem needs to just keep the Disruptor shots going while he's working with these DTs. Going after an orbital straight away. Clem's not paying attention there, I don't think. Clem runs down the ramp. Hard for Harstem to get down there, but the Disruptors are going to chase, and he actually has killed that base. The DTs now, they do not have Blink yet, so they're just going to have to make a slow getaway, but there's no concussive shells from Clem. Without concussive shells, that could have been 2 or 3 dead DTs. Instead, we don't have any. Wow, that's actually kind of a big deal as well, huh? Stalkers move up here. Sense Tower goes down. The Planetary Fortress looks to be in trouble. Disruptor shots fly through. Yeah, I'm going to kill off a Sense Tower. I'll grab a Ghost there with that Disruptor shot, and more Disruptors just coming on through. Harstem might have gone too far forward. He's getting surrounded and chased. This army is not good when it gets surrounded and chased down like this. The Libs went too far forward as well, though. Clem gets one of the two, and the other is very low HP, so much more vulnerable than it ever should have really been. Fire Force wants to keep on fighting, keeps on engaging into this, knows he had a good start to the fight. A lot of Harstem's army might just be in Disruptors that aren't here to fight either. Disruptors there, massive connection on the top half of the army from Clem. Wow, that hurts, and the DTs are back in the natural. Well, there's a base there this time that should just lift off immediately at least. Clem can save that without problem. The rest of this force pulling back away. 10 SCVs going down. Just going to be seeing the Ghost Marauder fighting against that DT, and just going to be seeing everything collecting together. Wow, supplies about 150 to 160. It's pretty even across the board. Awesome. I love that these DTs are still alive. The fact he's not had to replace the DTs at all yet. He's not lost a single one. Oh, sorry, he's lost 3. I was struggling to find them there. The fact he's only lost 3 DTs just means that he doesn't have to replace them, so he can focus on rebuilding the major part of his army. And that is really critical in these situations. Oh, by the way, so apparently about 2 minutes ago, he actually EMP'd the Observer. Sorry, guys. I genuinely didn't see what he EMP'd. It was over here, right? I genuinely didn't see there was an Observer that he EMP'd, and obviously the fact his Ghost went underneath it looked kind of weird, so yeah, sorry, that was just me missing the Observer being there. I obviously just saw it like a little bit late, just flicked over to it a moment too late. Alright. Stalker kind of coming through, another Disruptor shot up that ramp, doesn't quite land just yet. Disruptor shot up to the top side, Liberator Sieges, and we do have Disruptors just flying in from a couple different angles still, so continuing to connect. Just on the edges of this army, DTs are back, 13 SCVs down, base actually killed, right? That base is a replacement, so that planetary went down again. Only 2 more DTs lost. It's just so efficient out of Harstem. If you can't shut down the DTs, I mean, one of the big benefits of when the guy throws DTs at you is, hey, you can find some very efficient trades. DTs are freaking expensive. They die very quickly once they get scanned or EMP'd. They're just not dying. So the negatives of the DTs are not being abused at all here by Clem, and this is way too much Protoss for this Terran force, and he will chase forwards for some good trades here as well. But it opens the door for this counter, and I think Harstem knows as well. Very likely there's a counterattack on the way in over there, because, well, A, he's got an Observer, and a Disruptor shot actually just hits already. I think A, he had an observer, but B, just in general, is like, that was a small force at the top. It makes sense for Clem to attack through the bottom at the exact same time. Continue to chase forwards here. Just going to be seeing the Bioforce get chased away. And the force coming through. And actually, that's probably a dead Planetary Fortress here. Blows up the missile turret. Yeah, Planetary goes down. We did see the DTs dealt with during this, so Harstem was just talking about how great it was that those DTs were being so efficient, but in the end, it didn't really happen. And it was a bit of a caster curse for the Dark Templar. But as 30 more SCVs go down here, Harstem is going to find himself in a grand position. Clem's economy, half of Harstem's right now, 36 to 72 when I made the statement. Now it's 39. It's not quite a perfect half, but it's okay. We'll allow it. Rest of this force coming back through at the moment. Just going to be seeing the Bioforce coming back up to the top. Few probes going down. I'm just going to be seeing our Bioforce coming back along. Oh, but a ton of probes just went down. That Widow Mine drop does mega damage here. That's a pretty big deal. Is just going to be seeing more disruptor shots firing through. Bioforce having to back it up. More disruptors lining up to fight in that situation. Again, Stalkers, Disruptors coming through. Going to make a jump on this Nexus on the bottom side. It will go down. Recall was not allowed. Harstem will have to rebuild that. Clem striking back, trying to shut down some of Harstem's economy. The Disruptor shot flies, but just doesn't quite make it there. And another one doesn't quite manage to clip this force either. Just trying to reach across. Does get a Marauder in the end. That's about it. And the rest of this army from Harstem continues up the top side. Marauder, Ghosts, going to be going down. Clem just types out GG. That's going to be it. Harstem ties this series 1-1. As we have in the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran play here. This is Clem. And in the top right, it is Harstem. As we get into this next game. Sorry, just typing in Twitch chat quickly. Spending my day apologizing for ads, apparently. Sorry, guys. Don't want to bring it up in the cast, though. I wrote in chat if you want to read it. As we get this going. So Bunker's coming through. And that's going to drop a battery down as the Reaper is going to come through. And we're just going to go grab a probe kill. So Reaper gets a probe already. And he will have a bunker here to dive into. And he is safe. So Reaper into the bunker. And this little harass from Clem going to work out to begin with. And we'll see Harstem. Runs the Stalker up the ramp and then just waiting for the battery to finish, but he believes he can get the SCV. Clem says, no, you can't. Thought you could, but you can't. So, tough luck. Yeah, nice movement on the SCV there. Jumps in the bunker just in time to avoid the shot. Nicely handled. And just going to see a couple Stalkers going in after this bunker. So Reaper heads out down the bottom left, and we do have the couple Stalkers making their way through to chase that around a little bit. Reaper gets away here, and the Twilight Council is going to be coming up from Harstem, so getting that building in the main base. And this Reaper is making its way around in the center as well. It's just getting that map control established here already. Reaper goes down. Just going to be seeing the Hellion diving through and is just going to be going after a couple of probes. We're going to get one of them there. The rest get low, but obviously dealt with before it can capitalize on the other workers being low or anything. So deals like that. We do drop a bunker down on the front from Clem, and we do have 2 barracks behind it, so pretty quick into those extra racks as the factory and starport comes online. Raven on the way, tank on the way, and of course we are tied up 1-1 in this best of 5 right now. Qualifying match, winner goes to Krefeld, Germany next month for the HomeStory Cup. First offline HomeStory Cup in a long-ass time. Hell yeah. Blink coming through, sentry on the way, and a robot facility coming through from Harstem. It would be amazing if Harstem could qualify through the winner bracket. I mean, that would just be sick. Again, this is the winner bracket of the first qualifier. A, there's a lower bracket if he loses this match. B, there's 2 more qualifiers after this one. Robobay is going to be on the way straight away from Harstem too, so he's wasting no time just playing Blink Stalkers into Colossi this time around. Let's see how we continue along with all of this. As I'm just going to have Harstem having that tech switch quite nicely. That was a little lag spike, but seems to be resolved sooner rather than later anyways, so no issue. Thought for a moment that might be a little scary, but no, turns out it's all okay. Couple Marines there to help defend the Raven going up the left side. Charge, Stalker, coming on in. Again, a couple Marauders and Marines continue to produce with all the upgrades on from Clem. We'll see how his first timing does. The Raven is something that's been seen. So these Stalkers are out on the Raven hunt, hoping they can kind of catch it through the top side. But the Raven actually stopped and just sits on the left. So I think Clem saw the Observer and knows he doesn't want to risk it. So he's just going to leave it in a dead airspace against Twilight Blink Opener. At least then it can't die there. And yeah, that's what he would rather do than risk it. So very smart play from Clem, recognizing, hey, this Raven's being seen. Let's not just play this blindly and stupidly. Let's play this kind of smartly right now, in fact, and set that up. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to figure out why my XSplit isn't loading, but I think my XSplit's a bit bugged out. And I can't freaking... Oh, my XSplit's crashed. Oh, no. Does that mean we're going to keep on being able to stream, but it's just going to be... I can't change scene or anything? That might be the case. Well, I'll have to figure that out in a moment, because this fight starts up. You're going to see an interference matrix going down on that Colossus straight away. So that's going to go down. We're going to actually have a matrix go on it a second time, so that Colossus is just not allowed to be part of this fight. Clem's attack on this base, pretty darn powerful, and I mean, this is the weak point when there's a Raven up, and the Colossus is your kind of point of defense. And again, getting double matrix just really lengthens the time Clem can sit here. This base looks as though it's going to die. Looks as though that is going to be a goner, so... Yeah, third base falls, 17 probes as well, so there's not really any saving grace of this, right? Harstem lost a good amount of army too, and he's going to try and come in and fight this tank. Clem will probably decide the Colossi are a little bit too scary just for Marines to go on up against. Let's just have our Marines continue to run away. Raven's still alive, by the way. Also just going to type GG. He's going to get out of here. Alright, is my stream still live? That's something. This is kind of a... Like, it really triggers me, but I guess we got nothing to do other than just to roll with it, I suppose, so... Alright. Let's go with it. In the bottom right side, our Red Terran player here from Team Liquid is going to be Clem, and he takes the 2-1 lead now in this best of 5. In the bottom left, our Blue Protoss from the Shopify Rebellion is Harstem. Alright, Clem, chance to qualify for HomeStory Cup. Whatever my expert's doing, it's not ideal because my game is still lagging sometimes. I'm pretty sure that's happening because XSplit is breaking, so yeah, it's very weird. So yeah, sorry guys, I appreciate that last game. It's probably not obs perfectly. I see people complaining in the chat. I'm literally trying to make sure at least the stream was still live because, well, well, because you see, there was kind of this whole, like I say, my expert's just kind of dying. So, yeah, just doing what I can, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry. Doing our best. Let's see what happens in this game. I'm gonna grab like a. I'm surprised I wasn't on Naruto's camera though, like to observe, anyways. He's probably doing admin things and stuff, though, which is probably not ideal. Oh, anyways, alright. Again, winner of this is qualified. Loser of this drops down to that lower bracket qualifying match. As we do have the probe coming in, just going to nibble at the SCV, and the Reaper's going to show up and go push that probe away. SCV, just scanning around, obviously, as well. Just going to see the Zealot coming across, so you know that. Clem knows where it is, so the Reaper can come and find it straight away. There is this funky kind of like line of sight blocker in the center here, and that's typically what people have been using to keep this Zealot alive lately. Looks like Harstem's just going to turn around, bring it back towards the Stalker ASAP, and go from there. It is a Stalker, right? It is a Stalker. I'm not sure why we're over here, where the Zealot and stuff's over here. Okay, trying to steal people's cameras doesn't work either, guys, as we do have the Stalker going to ping at the Reaper, so Reaper gets pushed away. I'm just going to see the Zealot still across the map, potential to run up here and maybe make something happen. Definitely a little bit of a possibility. Make something go down. Product Council will build as well, like I say, in the main. That's going to be, once again, just a Blink focus style. And not too surprising. Blackburn, I think, pretty controlled, but you don't necessarily need Phoenix to control it. Blink can work just fine. I guess we'll see. Stalker's just going to hang around on the wall off then. And oh, is Harstem going to take a gold base for the third? That could be fun. And that's definitely a reason to take the Blink Stalker route. Defending the gold with the Phoenix much more difficult than the Stalkers. Having that mobile actual fighting force will go much further if that is his overall plan. So the Phoenix are great at stopping harassment and they're great at stopping drops in. They're just not great at clearing armies that come to hit your bases. And again, if you want to take the gold, that's kind of a base split away from the others. The Stalkers are just so much more effective at that. So that gold coming online, we do see a couple extra barracks coming through. The Raven, producing from Clem, was such a critical unit on 2,000 atmospheres. No shocker to see the Raven making a reappearance here on Blackburn. Blink is coming up to finish soon. We do have our Forge and Gateway continuing on in as the Raven is going to get set up. The Forge is going to get activated there as well, as a few probes going to move along. +1 armor is going to begin right away there too. We have that stim pack already producing on the side of Clem. So getting that stim pack up and running. Obviously, we again see the 3 racks getting going here. Very similar to the last game, and Harstem's going to have to definitely adapt a little bit to make sure he's got what he needs at the right time to deal with this. Of course, not as fast of a Robobay this time, not moving into the Colossi anywhere near as quickly. Instead, just going to be playing a much different setup, as he's going to be playing with the charge much more quickly, which should help you against some of the faster attacks a Terran player can do. So let's see if that turns out to be the case here on Blackburn. Hallucination taking a little bit of damage, again, head around a little bit, but is providing good info as well. Tells Harstem what Clem has here, sees everything that's going on for the moment at least, so can only be happy about that. The Raven does end up pulling back toward the natural. It's a little further, staying out of trouble. And there goes our Zealots, and a couple of sentries just going to go swiping their way through this set of rocks. So, looking to knock this down. And as we knock that down, should be able to just open up, obviously, that pathway, and obviously that makes your gold base much nicer to defend. Clem moves out, and these few Stalkers begin to get chased out of there. Couple units coming through, Marauders and tanks continue to actually get shots off, and as they kill those Stalkers, that's definitely a bit of a pain in the ass, right? Those Stalkers are not really meant to die. Replacing Stalkers is expensive, and yeah, it's just very avoidable at this stage as well. Like, Stalkers here should be, you know, getting free damage and not taking damage. As we're going to stim for a kill. Oh my goodness. This is a lot of Stalkers being lost unnecessarily. Little Zealot counterattack across the map. Let's check in on that quickly. Doesn't really do much. Turned around immediately. This army of Clem looks freaking terrifying. No, oh god, anti-armor missile Harstem splits against it last second. It's the power of this Raven. It's got so much utility against so many of the different builds. And the anti-armor missile went off on so many of the Zealots. Just makes it an easy cleave through. That's going to be GG's. And Clem is going to take this series 3-1 and qualifies for HomeStory Cup. The first player qualified for that we got to cast, at least. Hero Marine did qualify himself already, taking down a laser in the other qualifying match that was not on our stream. So